Hello everybody, welcome to the RAMCAST. On today's episode, we have our very special guest, Mr. Moore, along with our co-host, Casey, and our host in training, Luther here.
Hi.
So, how are you doing today, Mr. Moore?
Pretty good, can't complain. The SAT's over. How are you?
I don't have to do the SATs yet, but I'm definitely not looking forward to it next year.
That ain't too bad.
Yeah. We know that you like to play the guitar sometime in the hallway, and we were wondering, what is your favorite band and song?
Favorite band and song? That varies every single week. There's a new one. I would say right now it's Be My Escape by Reliant K. It's an oldie but a goodie.
All right, well, yeah, I think I've heard that song before, actually. I don't remember if I have, but it is a really nice song. Wait. Okay, I'm having a stroke. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So, why did you want to be a teacher?
That's a good question. So, whenever I was in high school, I had some really impactful English teachers that really steered the course of my life in a positive way. So I was like, yes, I'm going to do that. You know, now that I'm in it and I saw the paychecks, I'm like, ooh, yeah, let's still keep doing this. So that's why I wanted to be an English teacher. I actually wrote a piece about that this week in free writing.
That's cool. I thought about being a teacher before, but then I was just like, I don't know how that would be.
It's a calling, a lot of long hours, a lot of frustrations, but a lot of really good moments and making a good impact on a community.
What was the most interesting you've learned while teaching?
The most interesting thing that I've learned while teaching is that everyone's coming from somewhere else. In The Great Gatsby, it starts, in my younger and more vulnerable years, my father taught me not to judge anyone because they haven't had the same advantages that you've had. In high school, when I read that, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. But at the last school that I taught at, I actually went for a jog and ran into one of my current students, like digging through trash to find recyclables for him to turn in so that he could eat that day. And that's when I realized that everyone's coming from somewhere different. Hopefully I can make a positive impact in each of them.
Wow. That's really cool. Stan, I know you have a question.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, especially freshmen and sophomores, in Mr. Moore's room, there's this Viking helmet. You haven't disclosed how you got it, and you're very secretive about it. Where did you get it, and why are you so...
It's a little scandalous how I acquired this helmet. It was a long time ago, back in college, before I was an English teacher. I was stayed up really, really late until the early morning hours, hanging out with friends. Went to my friend James's house that morning, and this was, in Carbondale. And in walks this guy wearing a Viking helmet, carrying a bag of ice cream in a Dollar General bag. And we didn't know where this guy was, but he asked us if we wanted any ice cream. And we said, sure. And we invited this gentleman in. And we ate ice cream at 4 o'clock in the morning at my friend James's house. And I just thought the Viking helmet was really metal and really cool. So I offered to purchase it for $10. And he accepted. My friend James thought it was dumb, but I told James, laugh all you want, that's +5 defense. So that's where it came from.
Well, I don't judge you. If somebody showed up at my house at 4 a.m. with ice cream, I might not turn it down.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised you answered the question. Everyone in my class tried. All of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess we finally know the answer.
Yeah, I guess I gotta tell them to watch this.
You'll have to tell everybody to watch this.
And he can't lie and say, no, that's not the real answer.
That is the real answer. That is where it came from.
Yep.
We have evidence.
Although we don't know if he's telling the truth.
It could be like a episode of Rick and Morty. You never know which is the real timeline.
That is the real timeline. That is where it came from. And now it is the helmet of greatness for students that win the review games like Kahoot, Look It, etc.
Well, all right. So we know that you're in the National Guard. Could you just tell us, like, briefly, what is the National Guard?
The National Guard is a branch of the military underneath the Department of the Army. So the National Guard, we train like 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer. And we're called whenever our community needs us for tornado, riot control, flood duty, or when it's an issue of like national security, like we need us to go run air defense throughout CENTCOM in Iraq, Afghanistan, etc. So that's pretty much the National Guard in a nutshell.
Yeah. Why did you want to join?
That's a great question for very selfish reasons. At my first school, in a school that didn't pay very much, I made like $34,111, and rent was like $700. I had a car payment. I had student loans. A recruiter brought in pizza, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'll pay your student loans. Join the Guard. You can even be an officer." So I was like, "Okay, you had me at student loans. Let's go." And then I joined. And then I called my parents afterward, which that's not the correct order to do things.
Yeah. I get that. My brother, he went into the military. He's in the Navy. And my mom, he didn't call until after he signed up. My mom, all I heard was from the living room was, "What?"
Oh, yeah. That's about how it went.
We definitely got that call. And my mom was like, my mom was freaking out, but then she accepted it and all of that. So, Casey, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, you were recently promoted to captain. What does it mean to be captain on the National Guard, and how does it affect your teaching schedule here at MVTHS?
So, captain, there are two sides to ranks in the Army. There's like enlisted ranks, and there's officer ranks. So the officer roles are usually like leadership roles, managerial roles. Enlisted roles are usually the people that are actually doing the work. So I might have like horizontal dozer blade teams and like people that operate like excavators, and I am the person that needs to project manage that. I, as a captain, am the third rank. It goes second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, and then major. So now I can actually take over a company and run that company. How does it affect what?
How does it affect your teaching schedule here at MVTHS?
Teaching schedules, it should be the same. I should still be 1 weekend per month, 2 weeks in the summer. I know I'll have to spend some time at Fort Gordon, Georgia for 2-week stints to go and learn how to be a better leader in the Signal Corps, which is like my current branch, as well as engineer. So I don't think it'll take me out of school. Hopefully those courses can happen during the summer.
What would you say to a teen who's looking to join maybe a branch of the military?
So I would say that if you're joining a branch of the military and you know that you want to go to college, I think the National Guard is really the best one for that because they offer tuition assistance. I already have a degree. They've paid my student loans, but they're continuing to pay for my master's degree because I get what's called tuition assistance. So they're paying 100% of my tuition for going to McKendree University to learn how to be a leader in the school system as well. So National Guard's definitely the way to go, but it's not the only way, right? Air Force has a better quality of life. Active duty Army, you don't have to worry about a civilian career, but National Guard, I get to choose where I live. I get to choose what job I do, and it's the service of choice, which is what they usually brand themselves as.
So many people might not know, or because they might have not had your class or seen you last year, but where did you go last year?
I went everywhere. So first I had to go to Georgia to learn how to be a Signal Corps leader, and from Georgia I had to go to Oklahoma so that I could learn how to be a Signal Corps leader to conduct an air defense mission, and from there I had to go to Texas so they could make sure I had the paperwork ready to deploy, and from there I flew to Kuwait. From there I flew to Qatar. From Qatar, I flew back to Kuwait so that I could go to Baghdad and hang out in Iraq for a while and set up a new air defense site then. And from Baghdad, I flew back to Kuwait, back to Qatar, back to Kuwait, back to Texas, and finally back to Illinois.
Man,
Wow, that seems a long way.
I'm not afraid.
literally been everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
How did MVTHS handle your absence?
They were awesome. So they're like, yes, we will support you. Yes, we will get you a substitute. And they actually sent me a care package when I was over there, which was really, really sweet. So like I still felt like a member of the Ram fam even when I was abroad. So
That's
I really
nice.
can't thank them enough for that.
Is the like, I know you have like you're in the military, you've got like a different sort of like view on this. Would you say that the situation in Ukraine more impactful to someone who could be called to serve in a war?
I don't think so. Because the situation in Ukraine, there's the loss of life. We're all alive. We all love people who are alive and lost people who are alive. So I wouldn't say it's any more impactful for me than it is anyone else. And if they called me to go, that's like a huge increase in salary. So it's what it is.
What are some other ways that you can serve in the military?
There's so many ways. If you see someone that's struggling, just help them. That's just a general rule. But there are organizations for that. There's local animal shelters that don't have enough volunteers. There are homeless organizations that don't have enough. There are food pantries that don't have enough. A lot of religious organizations do a lot of good for the community too. The Red Cross needs volunteers. So there are a lot of organizations that meet a lot of unique needs. Some of them even better than the Department of Defense does.
All right, Luther?
I always see you playing guitar outside your room. Can you play a little guitar for us?
Yeah, I'll play something. I always carry a guitar pick, and I brought that with me today.
If
What
you
do you
don't
know?
have
We
it, I got
can
one in
meet
my
if we
wallet.
have a guitar.
You can trust me on that.
Immediately.
This was in, I think, a garbage can with a prom proposal. So.
Nice. I hope that he got the date. So I'll just play a couple little random things. Yeah.
Wow,
Good enough for government work, I hope.
that was really cool.
Thanks.
Does anybody else have any questions? Audience?
I have a couple.
All right.
One of which is, if you could go back in time, would you still choose to be an English teacher or a music teacher?
That's a good question. I feel like as an English teacher, I'm more marketable, so I would choose that. However, I spend most of my time outside making music more than I do reading. So I don't know. I think I'd still choose the same path because I kind of like the path that I'm on. I don't want to say I'd do anything different at all.
And the other one is, could you still be part of the National Guard, even if you don't always agree with your country's decisions?
Absolutely. There are a lot of countries' decisions that I don't agree with, but I still love the country. And I think that it's worth defending. And if I ever decide that I don't think that, that'll be the day that I resign. I don't agree with everything the country does, but I still think the country is worth defending.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for some trivia.
Ooh.
Today is very special. Today is the day we do early 2000s rock trivia.
Oh.
And most of us, except for, Mr. Moore, obviously, were born in the early 2000s. So a lot of us should know this.
I made
At
the,
least a
I
little
don't
bit.
know.
A tiny bit.
I made the
Personally,
questions.
I'm
they
more
should
of
be
an
pretty easy.
80s and 90s rock kind of person.
Well, you've at least heard at least one of these songs growing up.
I've probably had a few are.
Or at least one of the bands.
My dad was a really big rock guy, no matter what year it was.
So let's get started. Which band, one of the most popular alternative metal bands in 2000, made songs In the End and One Step Closer?
I know this one. You go first.
That is Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yay! 1
I
point.
knew that one.
1 point.
What is the lead singer's name in the band Green Day?
I know it.
I know it. I got this.
Yeah.
He's my dude. I watched him freak out at the iHeartRadio music concert, throw guitars
yeah.
and stuff.
I watched that too.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
That is...
It's so tiny.
That is correct! Yay!
Yay.
Fun fact about Green Day, one of my old art teachers used to have a big poster in the back. I very much applaud her for that.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Golson has like a poster in his room.
That's great. I love when our art teachers have stuff like that. Finish the
I know
lyrics
this one.
of this famous Nickelback song. Because we all just want to be blank blank.
Big rock stars.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I think it goes living in. And then it blanks for me.
Yeah.
Living
We all
in
just
hilltop
wanna
houses
be
with
big
16
rock stars.
Living hilltop mansions, driving.
15 cars.
I forget how many
It's
cars.
16 or
It's-
16?
It's
15 or
16.
16.
Okay.
16 cars.
What does he win? Drum roll, please. Right. Brick! This is Lucy's hardest problem.
Solid.
FDA approved.
Yes.
We
And if you-
legally can't endorse what Brick can do.
But if you want to know more about Brick, there will be an ad. Good job, Brick. You did your best.
Is there something Brick can't do? That's the question.
No.
There is
can't
nothing
walk.
Brick can't do.
No, why would you ever ask a question like that? No!
No, I was just saying you can't tell them what a Brick can do.
This is
there
why you're-
something
no,
it
no.
can't do.
This is why you're a host in training.
I know.
Thought I taught you better.
He might look pretty smooth and cool on the outside, but I feel like he might crack under pressure.
You
A
are
quick-
right.
a
I
quick
probably
song.
would.
Take us out with a quick song.
Like with a song that's murderous?
No.
Take us out?
Are we gonna finish this with like some guitar becomes a gun after you're playing it?
Let's go on with the song. I guess.
But
Sure.
we're going out with a song.
Here's the guitar.
That
That is the weirdest way I've ever handled a guitar.
Okay, I'll play. I'm singing a song.
Why don't while you sing, you exit.
What?
How about you let either him or me do that?
I don't know. That's better than what I've seen some open mic nights.
That's true.
I thought you were gonna be like, this was our show.
How about we end with a guitar battle?
Take us
Singing
out
a
with
song.
a song.
Take
All
us out to the
right.
ball game.
Alright.
Take me out to the ball game? No. You know, I play some songs from Coco Melon for my son, but I don't know if that's really for us. Not our contract.
There's always Wonderwall.
I said maybe.
I didn't
No.
I feel like I would give you a copyright strike.
How about 21 Guns?
Oh.
When you're at the end of the road and you've lost all sense of control, to take your breath away and your heart chase the feeling of your soul. I might not know it all the way. 21 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
I mean, to be honest, the only song I know all the way through is Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's a pretty easy one to remember through.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Moore, for coming. Thank you to our hosts, our other Casey and Luther. Then there's our audience here, Stan and Savannah. We thank you all for watching too. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're watching you. We see the views we get. It's not fair. Brick Cecil.
All-seeing eye.
At
Yeah.
this moment, our original last episode has only been out for what, 16 hours?
It's
17
got
hours?
7 views last time I looked.
17 hours and already has 7 views,
I
man.
know.
Like,
Fire.
let's go. PewDiePie, we're coming.
Alright. Yeah. This is. Oh god.
That was a
Oh.
kind
that
of
it?
a little stuffed, but it's alright.
Yeah, he said that's a wrap.
I had a stroke.